So I ask you, what happens if the Superman movie fails? Now, just so you all know, today's show is not really about politics, but current politics did lead me to the subject of today's show. Now, as the entire planet and then some knows by now, the U.S. presidential election has come and gone, more or less, with Donald Trump being the successor. Now, I'm not here to debate the outcome. If you want to do that, hell, jump on over to X or go argue with the women over on The View. But there is something about the election that I have found rather interesting. For some reason or other, somehow, some way, there are actually people correlating Trump's presidential victory to the return of the Snyderverse. That somehow the Republican Party holds some type of influence over WB and the DCU, and therefore they want Zach back. As if one thing has anything to do with the other. Now, it's no big secret that Disney/ABC/Marvel has strong ties to the Democratic Party. It's pretty well known, in fact. And sure, most of the Avengers cast, much to no avail, made an endorsement video for Kamala Harris, as did Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford. Hell, Hamill made dozens of posts for Biden and Harris. But I highly doubt that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance have the resurrection of the Snyderverse listed as a top priority on the bulletin board in the Oval Office over, say, well, the Ukraine war or the current border crisis. But, as I said earlier, even though it seems to be this show is not about politics, it's simply a way to segue into the DCU succeeding, or more specifically, the upcoming Superman movie succeeding, and what would happen if it doesn't. All current far-reaching hallucinated political theories aside, what if Superman should in fact fail? What if the movie once released simply doesn't do that well? What if it only taps out at, say, $500 million or even less? Now, before all the Gunn disciples start their preaching, I'm not saying that I want it to fail. I have said time and time again here that I hope it's a success. But has anyone really thought about what WB, DC, Gunn, and Saffron will do should it tank? Let's be real here. DC doesn't have a great track record lately. Now, sure, one can say that Gunn has nothing to do with those failures, that he's yet to been able to prove or truly show what he can do, so get off his ass and give the man a chance. And I guess you would be partially right. But what if he doesn't pull it off? Can WB handle another financial failure? It can't ride on the success of Barbie's pink coattails forever. If Superman fails, what happens to Gunn and Saffron's 10-year plan? Will the minions over at WB dump it? They have a habit of doing that. Batgirl, Coyote versus Acme, the resurrection and then the demise of Henry Cavill, the handling of Sasha Cale. If the aforementioned election proves anything, it's that nothing is a sure thing until it is. Some say that the superhero movies have peaked, that the thrill is finally gone. There's only been one true hit in the genre in the last 2 years in Deadpool Wolverine, and that was nothing more than a cameo fest. Really, a trip down memory lane that was done far better than the horribly CGI'd Flash movie was. It was a gimmick that worked for them and not for DC. But that's only one movie within 2 years. And so James Gunn has a lot riding on his shoulders. He has a lot to prove, and only time will tell if he can create a cohesive, profitable DC universe. And should he fail? Should Superman not perform well? Well, part of me thinks that David Zaslav just might reconsider that 10-year plan and then possibly consider selling off DC to the highest bidder. And if he does, I wouldn't be a bit surprised. The writing's been on the wall over at WB for quite some time now. Last I checked, there's still some $40 billion in the hole, and that hole is only going to keep getting bigger until they have one hell of a major success soon. And by success, I don't mean television success. I'm talking box office, big, major box office that WB can build off of. All the Creature Commando, Peacemaker, Green Lanterns, hoopla ain't gonna do it. No way, no how. It's gonna take this guy. He has all the answers, or so say WB and a gazillion Gunn fans that believe in him. Yes, Gunn has a lot riding on his shoulders the next few months, and like it or not, Superman will be the catalyst that defines him. I wonder if he's given that any thought. If Superman succeeds, he'll be a hero. But should it fail, will everything that Gunn does after be subject to scrutiny, much like Zack Snyder is now? Who knows? I certainly don't. I just give reviews and opinions and sometimes piss people off. But hey, I guess if things don't work out for Gunn, the blame can just be thrown in the direction of them damn Republicans and their plan to overthrow DC and resurrect the Snyderverse. That's it for now, my friends. If you have any thoughts or comments or concerns on today's show, good or bad, feel free to leave them in the section down below. And if you like today's show even just a little bit, hell, why don't you hit that like button and think about subscribing so you don't miss the next one. As always, thanks for stopping by. God bless and socks out.